So I've announced I won't even get takeout from the places that are complying here in D.C. with the vaccine mandate, because compliance just invites more tyranny.
Mm-hmm.
The government will always reward your compliance with another level of tyranny. And so you should not comply. So even the ones where it would be possible for me to get food by getting takeout, I'm not going to get it from there. So we're getting takeout from Virginia, for instance, and bringing it back to D.C.
Yeah.
And, the Capitol Hill Club, which is a big hangout for Republicans, I haven't been in there since they started complying. Not going to renew my membership. And the reason I have time to join you on this podcast is I had a fundraiser scheduled this week. But this weekend, I announced on Twitter I would not be meeting with any representatives or executives from companies that are enforcing the vaccine mandate. And my fundraiser was like, well, there just went the fundraiser this week. And I looked at the list, and I'm like, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
They're not real happy with me.
Yeah.
But why would you reward somebody that is, they may have the private right. Maybe companies do have the right to say, okay, if you want to work here, you got to get your logo. You got to get a McDonald's logo tattooed on your arm, okay? Maybe they have that right to impose things like that. But it doesn't mean it's moral, and I'm not compelled or required to meet with people who are immoral.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the thing we wanted to do today, and I see you have your napkin, you're well thought out.
Yes, I brought receipts.
Yeah.
Jotted these down this morning.
And it started, we were talking about this, how you very early on anticipated how this thing would morph and mutate and some of the unintended consequences and the damage. And starting with vaccine passports, one of the things you said in September of last year was that the Biden administration knows that a vaccine passport promulgated through OSHA is unconstitutional. They know that. And it's going to be unconstitutional. It's going to be deemed that way by the Supreme Court, which effectively has happened now. But that's not their game. Their game is they're trying to bully and bluff
Head fake.
And create uncertainty and force private businesses to do it anyway. And that's kind of where we're at.
Private businesses abhor risk and surprises.
Yeah.
So if Biden says we're going to do this 3 months from now, they start preparing today. And they start asking people for their vaccine status. And they're like, well, why are you entitled to know my vaccine status? Well, we're going to have to comply with this. And, even we just got to be prepared for the court to rule one way or the other.
Yeah.
And so they just started enforcing it. They got into the habit of it. Presumably they can't be sued for doing those sorts of things because at the time there was an order that hadn't been thrown out yet. So some of these companies that wanted to do it anyway were looking for the imprimatur of the federal government. And just like with the CDC eviction moratorium, that was promulgated during Trump.
Yep.
And that was his CDC director. And it was unconstitutional as hell.